that leaves now is Gnasty himself. And he's waiting for us. In the dark depths of the unknown. So if you want to go do anything else, I recommend doing it now. Otherwise, if you're like me and you don't really care about doing 100% or not, because screw that stupid level in Beastmakers, we're ready for Gnasty. Gnasty Gnorc is, quite frankly, unlike any boss fight I've ever fought before. In both a good way and a bad way. For starters, like a Mario boss, it's a whole ordeal just to get to him. However, unlike a Mario boss, actually, you know what? I won't spoil it. I'll show it to you guys now. The first objective you gotta do is you have to get to Gnasty himself. He will be launching spells at you left and right with his gigantic Scepter of Doom. If you're a perfectionist, what you want to do here first is start by getting all the getting all of the treasure. As long as you keep dodging Gnasty's attacks, you should be okay. What you're looking for are two specific sets of keys. The first key will open the first gate, and the second one will get you to Gnasty himself. In order to get to the first one, you have to chase the... Okay, I'm going to come out and say it. The very Arab and racist thief guys who are all dressed in turbans and being evil fuckfaces. But you know what? I don't care. It was the 90s, and I don't care. I just like to make comments just to piss people off. Oh god, I never healed. Oh shit, I never healed. I am sorry, Sparks. Oh, I am not sorry for that gem. Alright, come on, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch, you son of a bitch. And... oh, damn it, almost had him. If I just had a bit less of an slow trigger finger. I know, me, with the bad trigger finger. There we go. Alright. One down. Now we gotta unlock this key. And get that key. Because that is the one that will let us get to Gnasty. Now this trail is a lot wider and has a lot more easier chances at death, so you want to be careful. Also, you're in much clearer shot of being blown up by Gnasty, but I figured we knew that by now. And got him! Alright. Make sure I didn't miss anything, so we'll go for a nice leisurely jaunt to make sure I don't miss any gems. I know it's irrelevant at this point, but I figured I'd do the best I can with what I have. Alright. Gnasty Gnorc, your reckoning is upon you. Where we unlock the gate, which becomes steps, and now we chase Gnasty, who is remarkably fast for a man of his size. Just saying, Bowser's not this fast. They gave Bowser the ability to teleport. Oh, Jesus. Always when I'm recording do I get texts and phone calls. Sorry about that. Oh, alright. Let's do this. Honestly, the toughest part about getting to Gnasty is just how flippin' fast he is. So if you're unable to keep track with him, keep pace with him, he will distance you for a very long time. Sorry, he will outpace you for a very long time. Case in point, he's outdistanced me by about a country mile. But that's the idea. I usually hit him at about the second lap. If you can keep pace with him, then he will overrun you. The key is to always keep Gnasty in sight as best as you can. Gotta get up. Come on, come on. Turn the corner, Spyro. Good job, buddy. Alright, he'll get onto that pedestal he was on before. And with that, you blast his face. Or blast his crotch. You know what? We're burning his crotch. No more... no more baby making for Gnasty Nork. Okay, the platforms here are pulling away. This is the part that used to kill me the most as a kid. But now that I'm a seasoned adult, we can get up to this and chicka chicka boom.
You're toast, Nork.
How's that for anticlimactic? Yeah, Gnasty's done. He be dead.
Forgot about you guys.
What about Gnasty Nork?
Gnasty Nork is toast.
So now there's order again in the Dragon Kingdom?
Well, mostly. I've still got some treasure to find.
What will you do next?
I'd say the sky's the limit.
And believe it or not, we're done. Spyro Reignited Trilogy Act 1, Spyro the Dragon, is done. Going back on this game, having beaten it for the first time in years, recently and then now for this project, I forgot how much I love these games. Even as they're reignited form and they're remastered and all this, I forgot how much I love these games. I really do. This game, Ripto's Rage, Year of the Dragon, even the crappier Spyro games like Enter the Dragonfly or the Game Boy games, except for the stupid Crash Bandicoot one. Yeah, no, not that one's terrible. Never play that one. Even the Dark Trilogy that I own, I only played, I think, the first one and a good chunk of the second one, but I still like those games, and I love the Spyro, the ideas behind it. It definitely was one of those big-time platformers that really could give a challenge to the likes of Mario and Zelda and Kirby and the likes. And to be honest, I kind of like Spyro in terms of its like build and world and story. I kind of like Spyro a bit more than Mario, to be perfectly honest with you, and this game is the perfect reason why. Now, Year of the Dragon is my favorite all-time platformer and my third all-time favorite game behind Super Smash Brothers. Well, at the point when I made the list it was Brawl, but now I would assume it would end up being Ultimate. But it's my third favorite game of all time behind Smash Brothers and Kingdom Hearts 2 at number 1. And with good reason. This series just keeps getting better from its platforming days, from its lesser known and just starting days, like here, all the way up to Year of the Dragon. It keeps getting better and better and better from here. And unfortunately, Year of the Dragon is not next. Ripto's Rage is next, but that's sort of a good thing. I do like Ripto's Rage. I do definitely enjoy Ripto as a villain. Gets a lot more screen time and a lot more of a interesting jolt from me as a villain, because Gnasty Nork, I'm going to be honest, is kind of a letdown when you basically chase him and you fry him twice. I mean, you had to actually burn Toasty 3 times to beat him. But I digress. The point of the game, of a platforming game, is the journey you take and the challenges that they give you along the entire trip, not just the end of the game. In terms of easy boss fights, it's in my top 10 like let down final boss fights. It's not as disgraceful as jumping on Jafar's head to beat the Aladdin Super Nintendo game, and it's not as easy as the final boss of like Yoshi's Story and what was the other game I was thinking of? Oh well, I can't think of it right now. But it's also not as easy as beating Cortex at the end of Cortex Strikes Back. But honestly, I do thoroughly enjoy kicking Gnasty Nork's butt all the time. I did actually die a couple of times the first time I played through this after a while, because as you guys know, I only had the PlayStation versions, and it finally crapped out on me after over 20 years of owning it. The game finally crapped out on me. So, no more Spyro for me, except for the Reignited trilogy. I'll probably go out and buy the originals again once I can, but long story short, Spyro was my introduction to platformers, if you don't count like Lion King or something like that, if you count like a 3D one, because while I did know Mario and I had a bit of experience with Mario 64, Spyro and Year of the Dragon were my first twos. Ripto's Rage I played years later. Which is a very weird thing. I think I brought this up in an earlier video, but what's weird about me is I had Spyro the Dragon and Year of the Dragon on PlayStation. Never had Ripto's Rage. But another thing was I had Crash Bandicoot 2 on PlayStation 2. That was just way too scratched up. I couldn't possibly bring it with me here. And then I'd never had Crash Bandicoot 1 or Crash Bandicoot 3, leading into the Insane Trilogy getting reissued. Which I found it like remarkably weird. Like, the weird thing was, like, I saw A New Hope and Return of the Jedi before I saw Empire Strikes Back, which was really weird. And it's weird, especially weird because Empire Strikes Back was my family's least favorite, even though it's my favorite Star Wars, it's my favorite Star Wars movie, period. That's just the weird luck I have with trilogies. Lord of the Rings is probably the only one that I've gone straight through when it comes to, like, movie trilogies or something. And even just, like, trilogies in general. Like I said, Ripto's Rage is going to be up next when it comes to a Spyro game, but I could not for the life of me tell you when it would be. As you guys know, the year of the platformer is stacked with a lot of potentially good games. And this is obviously not Ripto's Rage, as much as I'd love to do Spyro again, is not going to be up next. It's not even in the grand scheme of potential Let's Plays for this year. 2020, it's a bit more of a possibility, but even then it's kind of hard to imagine me doing that because I do have a lot of really big projects lined up for 2020. Main ones being Pokemon Coliseum, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, The Wind Waker. I guess I could squeeze it in there, but again, that's later for the course. This year, I've stacked with a lot of potentially good games, Kirby 64 being one of them, but that's not next because I will go into the next project in a minute. But then again, like I said, Kirby 64, I've been looking through my collection. I have Jak and Daxter, which is a possibility. Ratchet and Clank is a possibility. Revenge of King Piccolo is a possibility. Simba's Shitey Adventure is a possibility. Like I said, the sky's the limit for the year of the platformer, and it's only limited by the amount of games that I have. But next game is not a Spyro game. Next game is not Kirby 64. It has unfortunately been shelved like 35 frickin' times, and I feel bad for it. It's just because I haven't been able to get like the time to be able to set up my Wii U and to record. Hopefully I'll get some a bit later once everybody's settled down from the move. Next game is Super Mario Sunshine. It's kind of hard to really put it into words just how surprised I am that we're finally here at another Mario game, because that's obviously coming up next. And, well, yeah. Super Mario Sunshine is going to be the next part of the Year of the Platformer, the third game as part of the Year of the Platformer. I don't really count Reverse Rebirth as part of it, since it's sort of like a little micro-action replay, if you will, even though it is part of the story for Chain of Memories, but again, I digress. Rugrats Studio Tour being the first, Spyro being the second, Mario Sunshine being the third. And while I've listed a bunch of the platformer games that I'm considering doing this year, not all of them are going to get done, and some of the games that I'm considering doing I have not even mentioned yet. So I hope you guys can sit back, relax, and enjoy with me the rest of this Year of the Platformer as I leave you here with the end credits and the last scene, which is a pretty good kick to my emotional teeth because of how horribly I failed that stupid Treetops mission in Beastmakers. So, thank you guys all for joining me on this fun journey through a game that was a big part of my childhood. And, damn, this credit sequence is very long. I forgot about that. Again, thank you guys for joining me. I'm, as usual, Nintendo Man 64. If you guys like this series and would like to see more series like it, I urge you and beg you to please subscribe to the channel, leave a like and comment about any particular games, videos, or anything you guys would like me to do for you guys, because I love you guys and you guys have done an unbelievable job keeping me sane over these last couple of months and years and stuff. And, well, that's pretty much it. So give me a like, give me a subscribe, and thank you for even considering the opportunities and all of the things that I've done, and blah blah blah. I'm starting to babble. And until we meet again, my lovelies, Saya freaking Nara.
ancient history now. So, what's in there?
I believe this is Gnasty's treasure hoard, but the gate will only open if you have found everything in the Dragon Kingdom. Come back when you have reached 100%.